Every time that I've been in labor, I'm like, this is the worst. I am never going through this again.
I was like, child, can you cry louder? Why is it so soft? Hi, I'm Rungini. I have a daughter and I went through a C-section.
Hi, my name is Laila. I'm a mother of 4 and all 4 of my babies were born naturally.
The days leading up to my due date was very tiring. I was very stressed. At the same time, my sugar level was very high and doctor suggested that if my sugar level was not controlled, I need to go under the knife. So night sleeps were very, very less.
So the days leading up to my due date, I actually continued working. So even when I went into labor, I was still in the office working with my colleagues. It was only when the contractions got really, really bad that I decided to work from home. Other than that, I hadn't been sleeping well and everything hurt. My back hurt, my hips hurt, my knees hurt.
Hold up! Before you continue watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to us and check out our new Instagram account, Sid's Videos. Okay, go on, continue.
My feeling when I knew I have to go to the hospital was given to me earlier, like 2 weeks earlier. My doctor informed me that I have to admit myself. He told that my sugar is still high and I cannot be under insulin still. He told me that you come and admit yourself, we will induce you.
The most memorable birth for me is probably my 3rd, because at around 10 p.m. at night, I started having these really, really awful tummy ache. And finally, it got to the point where it was like 3 a.m. and there was nothing left inside my stomach to get rid of. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, is this food poisoning or am I actually in labor? By 5 a.m. I was like, okay, I think we should go to the hospital because the contractions are really bad. So I woke up my husband, it was 5 a.m. I was like, babe, we gotta go. This baby is coming out. And he jumped out of bed and he was like, oh my God, oh my God. And then he just left me in the room, like he went out. And I'm like, what's going on here? By the time he was ready to go to the hospital, it was already like 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. And he had gone to the toilet like 7 times to poop. Like that's how scared he was. So even like on the journey there in the car, I'm like holding on in the front, I'm like, oh, I can do this. And then I can see him like at the corner of my eye and he's like, are you okay? Are you okay?
So we went to the labor room and then I was supposed to take into epidural. I said, okay, fine, I'll take epidural. There's an injection that they give you in the backbone to numb you half your body. So that was a bit scary because I hate needles. There was a lot of noise going on. There was like 15 staff around that small labor room itself. After they gave me the epidural and everything, less than 5 minutes, baby's heartbeat started dropping. She came right to my face and said, okay, your baby has drowned, her heartbeat had dropped, you cannot go through normal delivery right now, we will go in for an emergency C-section right now. By the time I was on the way to operation theatre, I saw only white lights. There was this Indian boy in the operation theatre, there was the doctor who's going to operate, and the room was white like heaven like that. So I thought, oh shit, I'm going to die. I remember the boy was telling me, Akka, they're going to pull the baby out here, take a deep breath. So when they pulled out, I felt the movement. After a while, I was waiting for why the baby is not crying, and the cry was very, very silent cry, like very, very soft cry. I was like, child, can you cry louder? Why is it so soft? Then the nurse brought the baby to my face and she was like, anak, perempuan. During the whole C-section, I was forcing myself to be awake because I didn't want to sleep. I was so scared that if I sleep and I doze off, I might not come back again.
So like I said, every labor is different. And because I had 4, so it's 4 very different experiences. I mean, I would say for the first 2 births, because I was really young, I was 21 and then I was 25. I would shout a lot and I would scream a lot and I would be like, this is so painful! Oh, get out! Oh no! And they're like, it's normal, Puan, it's normal. But then by the 3rd and 4th birth, okay, I finally became a pro. So I was just very quiet and very chill and in my own zone, and I would just go with the flow.
It's like period pain, but it's worse than period pain. It's like someone stabbing you inside your... It's like someone trying to stab you non-stop, and then it stops. And then you'll be fine for a few minutes, it will be okay. Then you'll get back again. So it's like, you know, it comes on and off, on and off. The more you dilute, the pain will just start increasing more actually.
It's just the worst. It's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. Every time that I've been in labor, I'm like, this is the worst. I am never going through this again. And I did it 4 times. Ridiculous. But for me, the birthing part was wonderful. The labor part sucked. Like, I don't need that. Okay, this is really gross, but have you ever had that feeling of taking a really big poop and you just like, you're squeezing it out, and when it comes out, you're just like, oh, that super puas feeling of release, but instead of a little poop, you're pushing out a giant watermelon of a human being.
Seeing my baby for the first time I cried actually when I saw her. She was so tiny. At the same time, I was so nervous because when they took me in to see her, the nurse said, okay, you punya baby sudah berak, you bersihkan ya? I was like, what? Bersihkan? I'm like, I don't know how to clean a child. How am I supposed to clean a child? The nurse saw me and then she was like, tak apa, saya ajar untuk you ya.
I'm like holding on to this tiny slippery blob of a human, and they're all naked and ugly and like slimy and stuff. I'm like, what? This is so crazy. And I'll shake their little hands and be like, hey, stranger, nice to meet you. So I'm probably kind of weird like that. It took me a while actually to bond with my babies. For some of them it was maybe the next day or a few more days. Like for my daughter, I think it was only a month on when we were alone at home, and I was like kind of rocking her and I was singing, and then when I looked down at this tiny little 1-month baby, like her eyes just brightened. She gave me like this biggest smile, like she recognized my face. And that's when I felt like, oh my God, I am this baby's mama. And that's when I just burst into tears. So that was like my first bonding mother-daughter moment with my girl.
Things that I wish I knew before I was giving birth was preparing myself better than what I was prepared mentally. I was very 100% confident that I'm going to push out the child. I didn't expect that the child's heartbeat will drop, and I would, move into an emergency C-sec.
So when my second baby was born, I had pushed out his head already. And then the nurses like shouted at me to stop, like, don't push anymore, don't push anymore. And I'm like, what's happening? So what happened was my baby's umbilical cord had wrapped across his chest and around his neck. So if I had pushed again, he would have been strangled basically, and he was already turning blue because his umbilical cord was so tight around his neck. And while this was being explained to me like really, really fast, another nurse had run out to the nurses' station, and a whole like army of nurses like stormed into my room. It happened within like, I don't know, 5 seconds or something. And the midwife was like, okay, just relax. I'm gonna count to 3, and on the count of 3, you're gonna push as hard as you can. So I was like, okay. And as I pushed, somebody like pushed my body forward while a couple of nurses pulled my legs back, so my knees were at my ears, and then somebody else actually pushed my stomach down. So I swear my baby came shooting out like a cannonball, and I could see the midwife like ready to catch like that, and she did, and he was fine. But he came out blue, but luckily like everything was normal and healthy, and he was screaming his little face off afterwards. But yeah, that was a scary moment. He was born with an X of an umbilical cord, so I like to think of him as my little X-Men mutant child.
There's a lot of misconception about giving birth. In my case, I have heard a lot of other women saying that, if you give birth through C-section, it's not really giving birth actually. It's a not natural delivery. That's called motherhood. I feel that's the biggest misconception that everyone has, that C-section mothers are not real mothers. They're just lazy to push out. They just go through this injection to get the easy way out. But you are not in the person's shoe, and every mother feels the same for her child. That is the main focus, nothing else. The child has to be safe. It's okay if I'm not there, or if I'm gone, if I'm dead and gone, it's fine. But my child has to be safe.
I wish I had actually read up on what it's like to be in labor and birth, and not just depended on what I had seen in Hollywood movies.
I think my water just broke. Oh, baby time.
It is not like that at all. Like usually you think, oh, I'm in labor, let's go to the hospital. Oh, my water is broken, it's time to give birth to a child. It's not like that, okay? Like in my first birth, I went into labor on a Monday and gave birth on Sundays. That's 7 days of just pure agony. And the active labor part is like 12 hours or more. I don't know, I just lost track of time, but it's so painful.
The mental health of women who gave birth, either it's natural birth or C-section, is going to be almost the same. You pushed out a child and your hormones are haywire. You really feel that, you are not good enough, can you take care of the baby? There's so many issues will be like, going on your head. Some mothers, they intend to, go really deep, and, they intend to be mentally very disturbed over the issue that they gave birth and their body is like gone, you know, they don't know what to do with the child. So support from your husband, parents is very, very important, especially the husbands. They have to see is their wife okay or not. Help as much as you can. And if there are severe cases where mothers who really get lost in this journey, they need doctors' help. You know, they need to see a psychiatrist or get some help, medication, you know, all this will help them in a way. So this is something that you shouldn't overlook. When the baby comes, yeah, the baby is important, but your wife is equally as important as, you know, the baby is.
For all the pregnant mamas out there, I will just say that your body is amazing. It is strong and it is beautiful and it knows exactly what it's doing. So just listen to your body. Everything will be okay. Just go with the flow and don't fight the pain. You just be one with the pain and everything will be fine. And listen to your body, because when you have a contraction, that's your body telling you that it's time to go. And the birthing part will be so much easier. Just listen to your body. You'll be fine. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! It's so cheesy.